Et voila, bonjour friends, bonjour, bonjour. Cynthia here, the Queen of Pageant Talk. It has been such a long time. How are you all doing? Good afternoon. Bonjour, bonjour. Buenos dias, bon dia, bon dia. Hello to all of you from around the world. It is so good to see you again. It has been a long, long time. Well, I am back with another edition of The Crowned Voice. The Crowned Voice is where we are committed to promoting excellence, integrity, and transparency in beauty pageants. And I am here, as promised, with another recap of Mrs. International. Mrs. International 2025 was held this past weekend, and as promised, I am here with all the highs and all the lows. I know you all have been waiting for this. Pardon me that I am a day or two late. There's a lot going on, but I am here. I hope you all are well. Feel free to leave your comments if you are a woman who competes in beauty pageants, or if you know someone who competes in beauty pageants. I encourage you to share this live with them. And if you've never competed in beauty pageants, if you are a model or you are not in the industry at all, I still encourage you to watch, and perhaps you may change your mind and make your entry into the pageant world. Well, my friends, let's get right into it. I hope you all are well. Hello, London. Hello, everyone. You didn't take it personal. Yes, you guys are not going to get me caught up in responding to all these comments. I have to give the recap of Mrs. International that happened this past weekend. First of all, let me say, this recap is coming from my experience as a contestant. I was formerly Mrs. Framingham, Mrs. Massachusetts, and Mrs. New England. I also competed in this particular pageant, Mrs. International. I believe that was 2021 or 2022. I don't remember. However, I was there in person, so I felt the nerves, I felt the excitement, and I know this system because I competed, and I made a lot of friends as well. If you ever competed at Mrs. International, I would like you to share your experience as well. So let me get my notes together and let's begin our recap. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the compliments. Again, I'm not going to get caught up in the comments right now. Not until we talk about Mrs. International. First of all, let me say I love this system. This particular pageant system, I love it. And whenever someone calls me to ask for my advice about competing in a beauty pageant, whether they are married or unmarried, I always immediately recommend, I love my hair, by the way, and the color. What do you guys think? Okay, let me stop. I always immediately recommend Mrs. International. Number one, why? Because based on my experience there as a newbie, I would say Mrs. International is like a boot camp. If you can go through Mrs. International's pageant system, that week of activities, that week of rehearsals, then you can do anything. You can compete in any sport because you do it in high heels. You do it all in pageant high heels. The system is extremely professional. They're precise. They are very structured, and each day flows and each day is intense. So I always recommend Mrs. International because it is a first-hand experience of what pageantry is all about. And they do it in excellence. I must say that. I didn't win at Mrs. International, but I made a lot of friends, which is a win. I learned so much. I was able to stand in heels for 10 to 12 hours a day looking gorgeous in a gown, doing charity work, interviewing. It is a really good start if you've never competed. And if you have competed, it is still a good system to be a part of. So now, what do I want to say about Mrs. International? First of all, unlike the high school reunion vibes, the high school auditorium vibes we saw at Mrs. World back in January, and all the other systems that give, the high school theater or the high school talent show vibes, this was not at Mrs. International at all. I must say the production and the stage blew me away. First of all, the first time I went to Mrs. International to compete, the stage was beautiful. It was beautiful. And the reason why I'm always talking about the stage, the setting, and production is because I have a production background. In addition to being a beauty pageant queen, I also spent several years in Miami, over 26 years in Miami, producing major events at the most prestigious, high-class, upscale venues in Miami, like the American Airlines Arena, which used to be the Miami Arena. Also, the James L. Knight Center, the North Miami Beach Performing Arts Theater. I produced from scratch events by myself in my early 20s, by myself with a team. So I always look at production when I go at an event. I always look at the setting. I always look at the lights and the sound. And I must say I was blown away at the stage of Mrs. International. I was told that this year the stage was even bigger than the stage I competed on a couple of years ago. The quality of the production was beautiful, marvelous, 10s across the board. I mean, I'm looking, on the live stream to see. It was like a TV production. Sometimes when I'm looking at a contestant and I see a little error, immediately another camera picks up from another angle. And I'm like, whoa. So I don't know if Mary Richardson, who is the owner of Mrs. International, saw my recap about Mrs. World and some of the other pageants that has poor quality production that give high school auditorium vibes. I don't know if she saw that, but I don't know what triggered her to bring it up a notch. But Mary, you did great. I was told that you changed the production team. I thought the team you had before was okay. They were fine. I interviewed them while I was competing a couple of years ago. But whatever made you change, I applaud you. Bravo, bravo, bravo across the board. I was even told that even the photography team, I believe, changed as well. And looking at the photos immediately, that was also a level up. So hats off to you, Mrs. International. You set the standard. And I hope all of the other pageant owners, all of the other pageant systems, that you bring up your production, that you bring up your stage presence as well. Take notes from Mrs. International. That is what a pageant is supposed to look like, especially for married women, and especially for women who are contributing and giving all of their resources to participate in something like this. So hats off to you, Mrs. International. And again, bravo, Mary. Bravo, bravo, bravo. So now we're going to talk about the dance, the opening dance. Now here is where I have the problem. And I said this in January with Mrs. World. These women are not dancers. They are not Broadway dancers. They are not. They are doctors. They are lawyers. They are homemakers. They are businesswomen. They are moms, grandmothers. Why are they on stage dancing like they are in a chorus line? It doesn't work. Some of the girls can't dance. Many of the girls cannot dance. Some of them are trying to catch up. And again, at Mrs. International, the production and the camera team did a good job, because every time I saw a girl trying to catch up or is offbeat, they switched the angle. So that was very good. But again, just get rid of the dance number. These women aren't dancers. Just honor their presence, please. Now, tell me in the comments what you think so far, what you thought about Mrs. International's stage, the production, the setting. Tell me in the comments, do you think that they leveled up? And do you also think that other pageants should follow in their lead and level up again as well? Tell me your feedback about Mrs. International's production and stage presence this year. Also, do you agree with me that married women who are accomplished and successful should not be prancing around on the stage and dancing, because they're not dancers? They're there to talk about their causes, their passions, the work they're doing in the community. They're there to showcase their beauty, their intelligence, and I don't think they should be dancing on stage. So let's get rid of that. Let's talk about the fitness wear. Well, I think last year they changed their fitness wear from what we were wearing when I was there a couple of years ago. And again, I respect the discipline it takes for this segment. It takes a lot of discipline when you are competing in a beauty pageant, especially as a mother with children and grandchildren. And to get your body in shape to compete against other women who are 20 years younger than you. However, I think this particular outfit, it's nice, but it only fits one body style, just a specific body type, I should say. It doesn't flatter all body types. And I think if we believe that all women are beautiful, all women are beautiful, all women's sizes are beautiful, I think that the fitness wear should represent all body types, because a woman who is full figured with curves, I don't believe this fitness wear would flatter her body at all. If she has hips, if she has curves, if she has big boobs, no, this fitness wear is more for a slender woman with abs and muscles in her arms. It doesn't complement all body types, and I think that that's one critique I have for the fitness wear. Maybe we should revisit that. I know you just changed it, but I think we should revisit that because well, maybe not, because maybe the branding for Mrs. International is for a slender body type. And if that's what it is, then you don't have to change it to accommodate all body types. Women just have to understand, if they're going to Mrs. International, that fitness wear is a part of the competition, and that is what you're going to have to wear, and your body is going to have to look as best as it can in that outfit. So if that's the branding, Mrs. International, fine. But I think that it should represent more body types instead of a specific body type. Now let's talk about the onstage interview. And this is where Mrs. International shine. I wish that I had the opportunity to do the onstage interview when I competed. I did not make top 15, so I was not able to do an onstage interview. But I wish I was, because I would have killed it. Nevertheless, this is where the women shine, because this is where they talk about their platforms, the storytelling, the confidence, the clarity. This all comes alive during the on-stage interview. And this is where the women are articulating their purpose with passion, with facts, and with finesse. And this is what pageantry should be, especially for married women. Tamara said this is her favorite part. Tamara, I saw you, I believe it was last year, when you competed, and you were fascinating during your on-stage interview. There were some women this year who were a little bit robotic. You can tell they practice. You know, when you're speaking on stage or in public, even though you summarized what you're going to say, you should be able to flow with the audience, with the people in front of you. Your body movements are extremely important. I saw a lot of women over the past weekend when they were doing their onstage interview. They were very robotic. For instance, they would like go on stage when their name was called, and they would say something like, well, do you know 70% of married women will become widows, and when they become widows, they are stigmatized, they are isolated. That no, you have to, it's the time for you to shine and let people know what you are passionate about. That is the time to spread your message and even have people want to connect with you afterwards, whether you win or not. I tell women all the time, I got into pageantry, I didn't win, but honey, I maximized my presence. Just let me get on that stage. Brands will see me. CEOs will see me. Donors will see me. Nonprofit organizations will see me. Government officials will see me. Just let me get on that stage and get my message out there. And that's what you need to do, ladies. This is the time to not only worry about winning the crown, but this is the time for you to get benefactors. This is time for you to recruit people to join your mission and help you spread the word. So that is my little critique right there for the onstage interview. I didn't see a lot of the passion. There were too many women who were very robotic in their onstage interview. But as far as the onstage interview, I think it is wonderful. Keep it, elevate it, let's celebrate it, and let's use it to the max, ladies. Now, let's also talk about live streaming. Again, let me know in the comments what you felt about the onstage interview at Mrs. International. Let's talk about production. Give me your opinion about the production as well. I thought it was amazing. And also the fitness wear. What do you think about the fitness wear at Mrs. International? So now we're talking about the live stream. I believe it was seamless. It was strong. After witnessing so many buffering issues and glitches and fiascos at other pageants with their live stream, I must say Mrs. International got it right. It was professional, it was accessible, and it was clear. And that is really what matters in this digital age. And they delivered very well. It was $40 for both the preliminaries and the finals. And it was smooth, and I loved it. I noticed that we didn't have the ability, or correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe we had the ability to chat on the live stream. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see that opportunity. So I just paid attention to the pageant. And maybe that's a good thing. Do you prefer to be able to chat with other people while you're watching the pageant live stream? Or do you prefer to just watch and have, no interruptions? I like talking to other people. I was on Instagram talking to some of the ladies while the live stream was going on. So I prefer a little connection with others while I'm watching as well. Let me know your preference in the comments. So now, let's talk about evening gown. And this, as the host said, is supposed to represent grace, elegance, and poise, right? I believe those are the words she described the evening gown competition as. So let's talk about it. Now, I never want to bash contestants. Never. I never want to bash the contestants, especially at Mrs. International, because I know the hard work that they go through the entire week. However, I also know how intense and how professional rehearsals are at Mrs. International. you rehearse at least 4 times during that week at Mrs. International. And I'm talking about long rehearsals. Okay? So there is no way those women should have been walking in their evening gowns the way they were walking during the evening gown competition. The evening gown competition this year was tough to watch. It was tough to watch. Some of the gowns were beautiful, but I'm not going there yet. Again, I don't want to bash contestants, but it was tough to watch because many of the women cannot walk. They cannot walk. It was, I was praying that some of them did not fall. They were in survival mode. The posture was off. The walking was off. Some of them were walking like their feet hurt. And I know your feet hurt because I know the intense rehearsals at Mrs. International. But you should have been rehearsing in those heels and your gown. Ladies, a lot of you rehearse in your leggings and your heels. But when you're rehearsing at home, you should rehearse in your gown with your heels on. Rehearse with your gown. Many of you on Saturday night, it was tough to watch. It really, really was. The posture was off. The movements were stiff. There was no personality. There was no pizzazz. The heels should be comfortable from being broken in. Yes, definitely. But they were walking like they were in survival mode, some of them. And it didn't represent grace, it didn't represent elegance, and it didn't represent poise at all. Not for all of them, but for most of them. So please practice. Hire a coach, ladies. Hire a coach. There's a lovely coach on Instagram. Her name is Luciera. Hire Luciera. Hire Wendy Russo. Wendy Russo is also very good with walking. Hire women who have experience, who competed in pageants, who knows how to walk a runway, who knows how to walk a pageant stage. Hire these women and practice in your gown, please. Because someone said, it's definitely painful to watch. We were here, my husband and my son and I, we were here like, oh my God, please don't fall. Now, the women were bought out. The one thing I love about Mrs. International, your husband brings you out on stage. And that is beautiful. I love that. And I believe it was Mrs. Delaware. She was the People's Choice winner. The way her and her husband interacted when he brought her out on stage and ushered her into her walk, oh my goodness, that was graceful, that was romantic, that was lovely. There has to be a flow, ladies. You and your husband, you know Mrs. International, you should practice how you're going to walk out together. Oh, it was Arizona. Thank you, Tamara. Yes, you should practice how your husband will bring you out. Don't just wait until you get to the pageant. Your body language tells a lot. Like my husband and I, you see our videos, and not because we practice, but it's just the connection that we have. And when you're on stage, that should be magnified. So again, too many women were stiff. Too many women were afraid to walk. Too many women were afraid to fall. A lot of women were tiptoeing. The gowns. Tell me your favorite gown. Tell me, Mrs. Caribbean C, I liked her gown. I liked Mrs. Japan. Mrs. Japan, I believe, share your perspective with me. Mrs. Japan, I believe she got it right. She came out with her gown and the gown didn't wear her. She worked her gown. She walked, she was comfortable, she was confident, and she flowed. She was one with the gown. She embodied the gown. Most of the women, how do I put this? The gown was wearing them. They weren't one with the gown. You have to be one with what you're wearing, especially an evening gown. You don't just put it on and boom, it's like a thing that's just on you and you're walking in it. You have to flow with what you're wearing, especially on stage. So that's my critique or my insight for evening gown. I never wanted to criticize the contestants. However, ladies, your on-stage presence matters a lot. Hire a coach, please. The gown has to be a second skin. Exactly. And Mrs. Japan got it right. She did. Mrs. Caribbean Sea, I think hers was nice as well. Mrs. Florida. I'm not talking about just beautiful gowns. I'm talking about people that worked it. Let me know who was your favorite during the evening gown competition. Let's also talk about the music. Now, this is for production. Evening gown competition is between the husband and the wife. The husband walking the wife out to the stage and ushering her to do her evening gown walk. Production, the music was off. Some of the songs were okay, but it should be more elegant, more romantic. This is a married woman category with their husbands on stage. Give me more romance. Give me more elegance. Give me more, synchronicity, not teenage type music. Because the way you walk in a gown, the music has a lot to do with it as well. If you're playing a pop song and I'm wearing a $5,000 evening gown and I'm walking out on stage with my husband and you're playing something by Justin Bieber or who else, Lizzo or something, it's like, how do I walk as an elegant married woman to that? Just give us more songs that are appropriate for that category. Okay? Tell me what you think, ladies, in the comments about the evening gown competition. Do you agree with me that it was torture to watch some of the women? Let me know in the comments. But again, shout out to Mrs. Japan because she absolutely understood the assignment. She worked her gown. So now, there was a fall, again, that happened during the evening gown competition. Someone fell as she broke her fall actually on the way back to after she did her walk. But she did it with grace. And again, the camera crew did an amazing job because it happened in less than a second and they quickly changed the angle of the camera. So if you weren't paying attention like I did, you wouldn't have seen it. But she did very, very well. Hats off to her. Again, too many contestants walked like they were bracing for impact. They were not floating on the stage. They were not trained for stage presence. They were on stage survival. It wasn't stage present, it was stage survival. So let's get out of survival mode on that stage, ladies. Practice. Hire a coach. And when you get to Mrs. International or any pageant, make sure you practice with your gown and heels. So let's see, where else am I? Let's see, we're talking about Mrs. International. If you just signed on, this is Cynthia, Reine Cynthia, the Queen of Pageant Talk for the Crown Voice, where we promote excellence, integrity, and transparency in beauty pageants. We are talking about Mrs. International 2025, which happened last weekend in Tennessee. And if you just happen to join us, don't worry, I will reshare this live broadcast where you can comment and we can continue the dialogue there. So let's talk now about a very special moment, which was Mrs. International 2024. She took the stage while she was 9 months pregnant, and she was stunning, she was peaceful, she was radiant, she was articulate, she was poised, and she was 9 months pregnant. Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine a 9 months pregnant woman in a beautiful gown, several gowns, by the way, everything 10 across the board. And her presence reminded us that the strength and softness that women can carry, that we can carry that at the same time. And that pageantry, I love the fact that this pageant honored that. Honored the fact that she was pregnant and 9 months pregnant, and she was still able to come and participate fully in this year's pageant. Let's also say a shout out to the host, former title holder. I believe her name is Raquel. And she carried the show with poise and professionalism. It's usually her and a gentleman every year, but this year she was by herself and she held it down beautifully. Bravo, 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 Raquel. So now the last thing, I think it's the last, okay, according to my notes, now it's time to talk about the international question. And I brought this up during Mrs. World. And it applies here too, Mrs. International. Why we keep calling it international? Why do we keep calling the pageant international if no one from another country wins? Why? Women fly from across the globe. There were people there from the Ukraine, from Poland, I believe, from Japan, from other parts of Asia. But yet, the crown always goes to someone in the United States. How is it international? How is it international? I think we should reconsider the name. Because international, when was the last, who was the last international title holder at Mrs. International? I would be so upset if I flew from across the globe to participate and no one from another country ever wins. Why is that? Correct me if I'm wrong. If someone won 10 years before, 15, I don't know. But for the past 5 years, why is the crown staying in America if it's international? And also, I saw that there was a translator there for Mrs. Japan, but again, I'm going to say this as well here, like I recommended for Mrs. World. There should be an international relations coordinator. If you are allowing women from around the world to participate and compete in your pageant, then you should make accommodations for them. There should be an international relations coordinator or hospitality director. I don't care what the name is, but someone who is specifically assigned to them. The same way there's someone who was assigned to the judges, there should be someone who is assigned to the women who come from other countries, who are someone who is there for their needs, someone who is there to introduce them to the American culture. Judging panels should be international as well. Very good point. Exactly. The judges panel is always all American. And the winner is all American. I have nothing against America. I got in trouble for this the last time when I said I think America is the greatest country in the world. And I stand by that. Okay? As a Bahamian Haitian of African descent, I still wouldn't want to live anywhere in the world except America. Because what I get to say and do here in America, I would not be able to do and say in another country as a Black woman. So that's why I love it here. Okay? So there's nothing against America. But why are all the judges American and the winner is always American? If this is supposed to be an international competition, we need to include that aspect as well. That is my suggestion. It would make it much better. The crown should be around the world, not just here in America. The judges should come from other countries as well. And there should be an international relations director for these women to get them acclimated, to get them introduced to the American culture while they're here. Pardon me, that was my alarm. So I'm almost done. Oh, my hair. I'm really feeling this hair. Okay, let me get back to this. Let me stop. So, tell me in the comments, what do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Why has the crown stayed in America at Mrs. International? Should it go to other countries as well? It is Mrs. International. And should the judging panel reflect a global judging panel as well? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, let's be honest, a lot of women were overlooked. I have people in my inbox saying, oh my God, Mrs. Caribbean Sea was gorgeous. I can't believe she didn't win. This lady was amazing. I can't believe she didn't win. What is the beautiful tall blonde lady? I really thought she was going to be a part of the Queen's court, but she didn't place. So one thing about pageantry, sometimes I want to make a comment that no one black won, but the thing about pageantry is, in the beauty pageant world, is that everyone can get it. Not only are the black girls disappointed, but the blonde girls are disappointed. The redheads are disappointed. The skinny girls are disappointed. Everyone gets disappointed in pageantry. And it's just so interesting to see that some people who you thought based on the way they look would immediately place didn't. And I must say, I don't want to name any more names, but let me just add this. At Mrs. International, 50% of the scores come from interview with the judges. Now, this is private one-on-one interview with the judges. And I did very well when I interviewed with the judges. That was my strongest point. Can you believe it? Not evening gown or fitness. Definitely not fitness. But yeah, my strongest scores were in with the judges. So for those of you that don't know, before the women are on stage, we interview with the judges one-on-one. And that's 50% of the score, of the overall score. So even though some contestants look amazing on stage, if they had a low score in interview about their platform and their service work and their community work, then no matter how good they were on stage, it wouldn't matter. So if they didn't score highly with the judges, that's probably why they didn't make the top 15 or the top 5. No matter how beautiful their gown was, no matter how graceful their walk was, no matter how beautiful their features are, no matter how big their pageant hair is, it wouldn't matter, because 50% of the score is interview with the judges. So that's why you see a lot of the favorites, the fan favorites, probably didn't place. Maybe their platform, which means their cause, wasn't articulated strong enough with their private interview with the judges. So now let's talk about the winner. The winner is a platform queen, which means she is heavily, heavily into her cause. I wasn't crazy about her walk at all during the evening gown competition, but she is a working queen. She's in her 50s. She's a breast cancer survivor. She has a real cause, and she's heavy, heavy on her platform. And Miss International, everyone knows it. It's not really a beauty contest like Mrs. America. It's more about platform. That's why 50% comes from the judges. So I believe, even though I wasn't crazy about her walk on stage, her platform was amazing, is amazing. She's a real hard-working queen, and I believe she's a good fit for Mrs. International, and she represents what Mrs. International is all about, and I love it. So congratulations, Mrs. International 2025, Phaedra. Congratulations. We look forward to your reign. We are happy. And we celebrate you. And we look forward to all that you're going to do in the next year. Tell me how you feel about the winner. No bashing, please. Remember, the winner did not put the crown on her head. She was selected by the judges. So I do not condone criticizing and bashing the winner. Please, she did not crown herself. She deserves it. She worked hard. And she is Mrs. International 2025. But share your thoughts with me in the comments on who you were rooting for Mrs. International this year. So my final thoughts is that Mrs. International continues to be one of the most professional, well-run pageant systems in the world. Even though I would like to see some tweaks. I would like to see international people from other countries as judges. I would like to see the crown placed on the head of a woman from another country as opposed to only in America. The staff, again, was phenomenal. Production was elevated. Photography was elevated. And I believe this set the standard for other pageants to step up. I am very proud of what I saw. It makes me want to jump back in and compete next year. I don't know if any pageants would let me compete because I'm on here always talking about the highs and the lows of their of their pageant. I don't know if they'll let me compete, but I would love to get on that Mrs. International stage. Oh my goodness. Just beautiful. Beautiful. Congratulations, Mary. Well done. So, friends, Tiger Queen, share this live with someone who competes in beauty pageants. This edition of The Crowned Voice was brought to you by my Beauty Queen collection of lipsticks. They are tested by beauty queens. They are endorsed by beauty queens. I encourage you to check it out. I also encourage you to download my book, Big Money Lies Exposed, How to Build Wealth Like a Grand Dame. The links are in my bio. It will change your life. And that's it for now. Let me see if I see any comment I did not answer. Someone said, top the perfect. I have Yep, I've got all of them. Okay, my friends, so that's it for now. Pardon me that it took so long for me to go live again. I haven't been live in maybe 6 months. So much has happened. You guys know in January, I sprained my ankle in Aruba. And then in April, I had to rush to the Bahamas for my brother who had a stroke. I twisted my ankle again in the Bahamas. And from April to like early June, I was going back and forth to the Bahamas, helping my brother, talking to doctors in different countries, in Colombia, Grenada, trying my best to support my brother during that time. And, you know, he passed away in June. And so that's what kept me away. But I am back here again. I'm still healing from my ankle. I had an MRI on Sunday. And I will be back in my pageant heels very soon, I hope. Or what am I going to do with these heels? But pray for me that I get back, that my foot fully recovers and I can get back to sashaying in my heels and hopefully get back into pageantry again if someone allows me to. Oh my goodness. To say before we go, yeah, congratulations to all the women. I hope you made friends. Someone contacted me. A lot of women contacted me before they went to the competition asking me for advice. And one of my biggest advice is to make friends. Make friends while you're competing. Some of my best friends from pageantry I met at Mrs. International. So make friends, ladies. These are women who are like-minded. They are also accomplished. They are married. You have so much in common. Make friends. Okay, it's a great sisterhood, even though there's some drama every now and then, but it is a solid sisterhood. And I guess that's it for now. I am Reine Cynthia. This was The Crowned Voice, the authority in pageantry media. We are the first to demand transparency, integrity, and excellence in beauty pageants. And from what I've seen this past weekend with Mrs. International, we are getting there. Bravo. Mwah! Bye, my friends. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again. Bye.